Hello and welcome to CallTime. I'm Dylan Elza, and CallTime is a web app designed to help create daily schedules for theatrical companies and artists. So if you've ever performed in a theatrical production, like as an opera singer or a musical theater singer and performer, or even straight plays, you might have had to deal with a lot of different kinds of schedules, and I'll show you exactly what I'm going for here. So sometimes you'll get a schedule like this. It's a lot of information that tells who's called, what show is called, where, and maybe some various information like fittings. And then you might see something like this. A different company just has a block schedule like this. And then you might even see something like this where it's just in the body of an email. So every company is different, and that's kind of always been something to adapt to as an artist going into a new company. And this site is meant to consolidate that information, make it easier to create schedules and also distribute them for your users. It will also generate a PDF automatically of your schedule information, and it can be emailed out. So I'll show you that in a minute. So this is the old demo video. I'm going to replace that with this one soon. There is a mobile app. This has most of the same features. A couple of things are missing. I'll go ahead and show you what the sign up is. So you can create either an artist account, which lets you view schedules and such, or click here, you can go to create a company account, and company accounts basically can create schedules, and then you link artist accounts to the company account in order to have your roster of artists be able to view your company schedule. That's how that would work. I'll go ahead and show you what real quick, let's see here. Show you what this is, a company account. So what you see here is company name, and then these are the shows they have going on right now. It shows the dates, it shows the cast with their roles. Everything is clickable here, so I can click on the show name to see some more details about it and its most recent schedule. Real quick there. Shows a 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. call, people called, where they're called, and this is kind of a quick view, so this isn't the official schedule view. If you want to view specific schedules, so we can look at right here, March 5th. This is a further breakdown of it, and you can see some buttons are here to edit and delete certain calls. I can delete this specific breakdown if I want, click of a button, or edit it if I want to add more people to it, add more calls there, specific breakdown calls, they're separate. To create a full schedule, like this whole block, you would go to create schedule. I'll show you that in a minute. And I just want to show you real quick these buttons up here. So out of this information, you create it with your create schedule option here, and then you can view the PDF. It'll automatically generate a PDF that looks like this, and this is kind of what we're going for here. This is a template. It'll show the name of the company, which I've just named this account Opera Company, but if it were a different company like Texas Opera Company, it would go here, and it'll show the date automatically. None of this has to be filled in. This is automatically created. So it's got your show titles here, breaks them up by show, breaks them up by calls, and then cast called, where they're called. You input venues over here, and then you pick from a drop down. So I can create a venue like that, and it's very simple. You can edit, delete those later. Same thing with documents, just a sidebar. You can add documents that can be viewed. Takes a minute for us. This is a PDF on the street where you live. So for PDFs take a little longer, but other than that, my bio, I guess, is in here. Yeah, okay. That was just me testing that documents right. You can also do photos. I might be able to show that later. But now if I go to create schedule, this is what it looks like. You get a show. It'll show just the list of shows that you've created with the add show option here. A headline if you want to name the call. This creates a call, by the way, which is just a block of time. So 1 to 2, 10 to 1 here. Venue, your only options for venues are what you've created in the venues option over here. The point is that you don't have to type any of this information. Once you've typed your venues, once you've created a venue, you don't ever have to retype it. Once you've created a show, you don't have to retype the show information. Once you've added an artist, which you can do in multiple ways. I'll show that later. Once you've added an artist, you don't have to type their names anymore. You just go to here to performers and select how many you want to be added to your schedule call for that day. And you can create a category, which just helps you assign them to roles so that when you are creating a schedule, I've created a principal category, a young artist category, and a chorus category, and then assigned them to different artists on my roster. So if I click young artists, boom, it clicks just a few of them. I can unclick it. I can do principals, click a few of those, chorus, so on and so forth, or I can just do all. And of course, you can click dates, change your date with a little modal here to, sorry, that's not a date, but a time. Probably not AM. This is the date. And you can create staff members if you want people that aren't artists to be able to view your schedules and such and get email updates. You can add them here. Notes for the call. Let me show you conflicts. This is important because you can add, once you have an artist, you can choose which artist has a conflict on a certain day. I'll go ahead and set it here. Let's say June 13th. I don't know. And we'll say it ends on the 14th. And maybe he's available on those days, but just not between, let's just type of that, 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. for whatever reason. Submit that. You can see the conflict. You can actually view, so this is June 13th through 14th, I'll remember that. You can view these on your artist page. Here's your list of all your artists. You can use a join code. It tells you a little more about how to use it. Use a join code here, copy it, and you give that to your artist and they can join your roster with this code. And if you don't want anyone else to join, you've got everybody, you just click that button. No one can join with the code anymore. Bada boom. To view the conflicts, as I was talking about, here we have conflict for Dylan on June 13th through 14th. We have one for Alexis here. It says all day, so she's not available that day at all. You can view those details again right there. Now if I go to create a schedule and I select June 13, a modal pops up immediately because Dylan had a conflict on June 13. We don't have that otherwise if I pick a different day. If I pick the 14th, it gives you a reminder of when this person is not available. So Alexis, it said, was not available on March 5th, I think it was. Or maybe it wasn't. May 5th. I can't read. So you can always go back there to view. All right, May 5th. There she is all day. She's busy, booked. I just want to show you what that looked like. So let's go ahead and create a schedule here. I want to show you what a new schedule will look like. Oh, and here's profile where you can get your company information. You can add a logo if you want. And your staff, you can create staff and just adds them there. So if I create a schedule, our most recent one was, well, let's check. We'll create a schedule for Elixir. And the most recent schedule is the 5th. So let's go ahead and create an Elixir, say, closing night. We'll say it's at the Opera House. I set that up earlier. Closing night's today, sure, why not? And everyone's gonna be called 7 p.m. here. You can also just type it if you don't want to click all that. 7 to 10. Everyone's called. Happy closing. Let's call a staff member too. Now, for this date, it's gonna take you to the same page here. If I went to Elixir and click June 10th here, this new thing we created. Now, Carmen doesn't have anything on June 10th, so this is what you're gonna see. And then this is what we created here. We can view that PDF. Boom. It'll still show the shows that you have here, even if there's nothing there. So it might be best to to add a call that just says no calls, for Carmen. And now if I wanted to, is the other one? Yeah, okay. If I wanted to say add, so we added one block, right? What if we have 2 calls that day? What if we have a coachings from 1 to 3? Let's go ahead and June 10th, is that what day? Yeah, June 10th. So show Elixir rehearsal hall June 10th. And sure, we'll have coachings during that time. And let's say it's just the young artists. Yeah. So now, as you see, June 10th, it added this underneath here. So if the calls are on the same day and for the same show, it pairs them together so they all show up on the PDF together. So you're just getting the calls for that day. And you can even take this a step further and say, okay, there's coachings during that time. Let's specify exactly who's called when of what coaching date. So let's say AM, right? Let's say Jon Snow here is up first. Now we have a little breakdown. We can add that, and then we'll say 11:30 to 1. Or actually, we can just leave it blank here. And yeah, so I can edit this one to also look like that. Oh, yeah. So now you kind of have a breakdown of who's exactly called when. And that looks like this in the PDF. So if you want further, like, okay, these amount of people are called, the breakdown only shows those that are in the original call, and you can kind of like specify if certain people are called. You can add release notes if someone's released early in the notes section, like I did here. And so that is a lot of the functionalities, most of the functionalities of the company account. So let's do an artist account now and see what they get to see here. So this is important to note, is that an artist can be a part of multiple companies. Theoretically, you could have companies that are close enough together that they want to get their information compiled pretty close together. It just happens to be that way. So you'll get a list of all the companies that you're associated with, like this. And this is a stage manager that's testing. I have a stage manager feature that I'll show you in a minute. But as you can see, you'll see multiple companies if you're attached to multiple companies. And your views are much less. I can view from Opera Company's documents that same PDF we saw earlier. So this is the point of uploading those documents, is that your artists can view them if they are connected to you. And you also can do photos. Photos sometimes take a while too, I guess. But there she is, my boy Ash. And you can see the venues for your different companies, in case you forgot what the addresses were. And your profile shows your latest schedule. So remember that schedule made June 10th. It is the most recent schedule related to Dylan, and so we get to see the entire breakdown of that call. He was not called for those coachings that morning, so he's only seeing the calls that are relevant to him. If he's curious, he can click this button to see that full schedule again. Dylan also has other options. He can view his information. This is my actual email. Not showing you my phone number there. And let's see your roles. I'm doing every role. Look at that. Conflicts. So yeah, these are conflicts, and it tells you for what company. And you can change to receive email updates. This just means if there's a button to publish and send PDFs. I think you saw that earlier. This would make it so you don't get those emails. You'd have to check the website manually if someone was exclusively using this for for schedules. Yeah, profile the private. It just hides your email and phone from other users because they can kind of search your ID if and just see like just this basic information. But if you have set to private, they won't be able to see this, your phone number and your email. So just a little thing. You can change your password there, edit some of these details in your profile. And that's what your profile is for. I think that is about it for the artists. I have one more feature I want to show you before we close up. So what we have here is, let me show you Opera Company again. And just show you real quick the staff section here. So this staff member is just named none, and this is their email. If a company account has the same email as a staff member's account, so if you are a company account and you create a staff member like this and you put in an email address that is the same email as an actual company account on this system, then it will link the two, so that this account, this Opera Company account, is now linked to this account. So I will log into that account and show you what that means. Alright, so this is Susan the stage manager's account, company account. Because she is a staff member of Opera Company, she can view Opera Company's stuff, as well as her own, if she had any information. I didn't give her any information to put in. So she can also, she has a new option on the artists page. She can view the artists for Susan the stage manager, or she can switch to Opera Company and view Opera Company's artists. These are the same roster and the same join code. And if she wanted to add people, she could use her own join code. This is a separate code. And she can close it as well. So she doesn't have any of her own, but this basically allows Susan to create schedules for Opera Company without having to use Opera Company's password and log in and all that. So now she just has that. And if Opera Company, say their production is over with, Susan is moving on to another company now. Opera Company, all they have to do is go to their staff members and remove Susan the stage manager, and then she will no longer be connected. So this is Susan's account. We can create schedules all the same. So you get a new option here to choose a company. Your default is your own company as Susan the stage manager. She doesn't have any shows or venues, or even performers, as you see. But if she goes to her Opera Company's option, she now has all of Opera Company's options of performers, as well as their shows, venues, etc. And all functionality is the same. So anything she wants to do, she can create a show for Opera Company, just like Opera Company can. Conflicts, she can add conflicts for Opera Company's performers, and all the things. Now she sees her documents and Opera Company she can upload for either herself or the company, venues, everything. So that's the Stage Manager feature, and it's great. So if you create a schedule as a stage manager and then you end up publishing that schedule, I'll show you. I'm still Susan the stage manager. If I choose to publish this schedule, it will email it to everyone on file, and if an artist responds to that, if they reply to that email, it will go to whoever pressed this button. So if Susan presses this button, anyone who replies to that email that's sent with the schedule, the email will be directed to Susan's email. Likewise, if Opera Company presses this button, the reply to will go to the Opera Company's email. This is a feedback modal. If anybody wants to send me a personal email, just any feedback, I made it a modal so you can easily open and close it without stopping what you're doing. All feedback is appreciated. I think this could be really useful. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to add here. Thank you so much for listening. If you stayed this long, I know it's a long video. I wish I could make it shorter, but there's just so much to show. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy.